Welcome, welcome, welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, T to T, and I don't know if my equipment is working. This is the first time I'm going live, so bear with me. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes in the beginning. I already know. Um, the title should have said Pac versus Floyd. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I also want to talk about some of the moves that TMT were doing as of late, and I use a source called Boxing. Let me see what it's called. Right name. Boxing News 24. I don't know how great it is, but I was on there and I found a couple of things interesting. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that they have on that website. But like I said, I'm new to streaming, and I'm a fan of boxing, and I want to see uh, fighters fight each other, best fighting the best. I definitely want to see that, and I'm tired of the excuses. I love the sport, and I don't like where it's going. I did upload a video. It was pre-recorded where I was talking about pound for pound, and so you guys can check that out. I might redo it just because I'm just now learning how to do this this going live thing. So y'all bear with me. But welcome if anybody stumble onto the site, or I'll probably get some people to recommend others to come to the site. But like I said, I'm new to this, and it's one of my favorite pastimes. I actually volunteer at a local boxing gym here where I live, and I train with kids and adults, and some notable fighters come there too. Um, I want to be a coach or a trainer. Uh, like I say, I love the sport that much. Um, as time go on, of course, my channel will develop, and I'll learn new tricks of the trade and how to work, graphics or background. I'm not computer savvy. I know a little bit. I know enough, but sometimes I might have to solicit my kid to help me out with some of this stuff. But thank you. If you do participate, thank you in advance. Um, I'm very interested in seeing how this develop over time. So let's start with it. I put up, like I said in the title, Pac versus Floyd rematch, and I keep hearing a lot of buzz about it, as if but from my assessment, is really people asking Pacquiao, or maybe even asking Floyd, um, are they interested in a rematch? Now, I have to go by what Floyd said when I think it was Jim Gray who interviewed him when he said, "I don't want to do business with them anymore," because in the end of the fight, Pacquiao did come up with an excuse, and that's not cool. That really wasn't cool. Um, if you had an injury, you should have listed that on the paperwork before the fight. You said you wanted, what was it, Toradol or something like that, instead of cortisol. And if you wanted cortisol, they would have gave it to you, but not Toradol. I've been on Toradol, and it do numb you up. Let me make sure I turn off my phone. It does numb you up. Um, it make me feel funny. I really don't like a lot of medicine, so it made me feel funny. I don't know what it does as far as like how can it help you in the sport, but apparently it's supposed to be able to help you not feel things, and that's not cool because um, the whole part of boxing is getting through the moment. And if you're on something that's gonna prevent you from feeling stuff that can aid in you quitting your match or giving up or losing your will in the ring, then that's cheating. So no, I'm not agreeing with using any kind of medicine that aids in that type of thing. So They were right not to give that drug to Pacquiao. He, like I said, he could have asked for cortisol because whatever he was asking it for, cortisol would have did the trick, and he didn't want it. I know this is old news. You know, they fought in 2015. I actually went to that fight in Vegas, and I had a great time. Far as Pacquiao, the person who acts, they make it seem like this is a buzz. This is what people want. This is what everybody's talking about. They ready for um, Pacquiao and Floyd fight two, number two. Pacquiao was just answering the question that the dude put before him. So I'm getting a sign that says a statement that says your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnect. Okay. So I'm gonna wait, and while I wait, I'm gonna play some music. I'm gonna play some music. Bear with me 1 second. In case you're wondering what I'm drinking, it's just the juice I made from scratch. It's got spinach, carrots, and some fruit. That's all it is. I'm gonna try to keep on push it through. Turn this music down a little bit because I'm not sure what's going on. This music probably lasts about 3 minutes or so. But keep on chat. Let YouTube fix whatever they gotta fix. So, like I was saying, Pacquiao, he was just answering a question that somebody asked. It wasn't like he came out and said, "Hey, I want to fight Floyd." I think he knows that that ship has sailed. Floyd, he knows he's a genius in this thing in boxing and what he has to do, like for his career. And I know Floyd did not want to fight Pacquiao again. Floyd is retired. He said he's retired. He's moved on to different things. Whether he be a genius in the endeavors that he engages in going forward, that remains to be seen. Right now, it's not looking too pretty for Floyd, but because some of the things that is going on with his promotional company. Um, One of the other channels, that's Barbershop Conversation, um, had broadcasted the other day, like a interview between, I think the guy's name Lionel Thompson or Lonnie B, where he was discussing how much he got paid, and he was under the TMT umbrella. And that's just it's just so unfortunate. The man said they paid him 7,500, and clearly it's not a good representation of what his value should be because of the level of opponents that he's fighting. I've never seen this man fight, but I intend to go back and watch his fights. But apparently he's the goods. But still, even if you're not, why would you pay somebody $7,500 to fight? See, musical. Okay. So why would you pay somebody $7,500 for a fight? That's just ridiculous. By the time everybody who has to get paid get the haircut, what are you going home with? You have to pay your trainer, your corner people. You have to pay taxes. $7,500 to me ain't really much. I mean, it's a lot. I could do a lot with 7,500, but that ain't shit in the grand scheme of things. For real, for real. People, you can't even get a brand new car for $7,500. If you go on a trip, let's say to the Bahamas or something, or Cancun or something like that, by the time you get back, you would have spent that $7,500 if it went strictly to bills. And I'm talking about the regular bills like your electric bill, your phone bill, your rent or your mortgage or whatever. $7,500 could last you just in mortgage payments could last you 2, maybe 3 months, depending on how much your mortgage payment. Just the mortgage. So, like, if you was just saying I'm gonna do all bills, about a month and a half. Who can live off of that? Why would you pay somebody to enter a ring with that low amount? I mean, it should be a law that fighters have to get a minimum payment. What that minimum payment is, I don't know. I don't know. But that law needs to hurry up and come. This is when government can be good, you guys. A lot of people don't like government interfering in what they're doing, and but this right here is this could be a good thing when government gets involved because there should be a minimum payment. It should be a because you're risking a lot choosing this profession, but there should be a minimum payment. But that's all I'm gonna say really about that. I'm just disgusted with it. Floyd. And as you watch my channel, you're gonna know that I'm a big Floyd fan. Like I've had arguments defending this guy. I've almost gotten to fights and was ready. And I still think he TBE, and I still think he the bomb.com. But Floyd, some things you do, I just can't. I can't deal with it. So I'm gonna pray that you get better, my brother. Don't pay nobody that much money for this grueling stuff, especially when that guy answers y'all call every time. And then, in the interview, he was getting ready for work. He looked like he had a security job or something. That's just that is so it's so tragic. If it wasn't so serious, it could almost be funny because I can't believe it. Like, who would do that? Who allows somebody to do that? But boxing business is tricky, so I don't know. But back to what I was talking about with Packard, Floyd. I don't think Floyd is going to give him a rematch. I hope Floyd don't give him a rematch. Floyd kicked his ass once, and it's over. I mean, it is what it is. You know, um, a lot of people think that Pacquiao is better than Floyd. I happen to think that Floyd was better than Pacquiao. A lot of people claim Floyd ducked him over the years. No, he didn't. If you calling somebody out and you're in a different weight class, how are you calling somebody out? Floyd was a welterweight. Pacquiao was still like a 135 pounder or something. Calling out Floyd, but it's this new thing. It probably started with Pacquiao. I don't know, maybe somebody. It's probably been going on all along in boxing, but it seems like it's this new thing that everybody's picking up now, where they um, they want to use somebody else's name to boost their career. I don't like it. In fact, I despise it. I hate it because what's the point? What is the point of using somebody else's name to boost your own when you could just boost your own? What, what is I don't know what I'm doing, clicking stuff. Whew, but yeah, why would you use somebody else's name to prop up your own or prop up whatever you have? Why you just can't make it on your own laurels? I don't know. But you guys, But anybody out there doing it, stop that shit. That is so, I'm not gonna be endeared to you because you keep calling out this person when you know you damn well you don't want to fight him. Pacquiao did that shit for years, and I think he fought one fighter. I want to say Cotto. I think he fought Cotto before Floyd, but basically all he was doing was fighting Floyd's leftovers. But they always say too, I'm not a boxer. I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan, and I'm putting it on easy. But I heard that like once you lose a fight, you're never the same. That's possible because all of this is a mental game. So if you lose your fight and you're not like the same, you don't feel like more invincible. Like I don't know what you lose mentally, but it's always on your mind. Um, those things are possible, you know. But I would say this: every fight that Floyd fought, where people thought that it was a close fight or maybe the guy edged them, Floyd be like running back. He did it with Maidana. He did it with Castile, running back. And when they ran it back, you saw Floyd was the truth. So um, a lot of fighters don't do that, but this it seemed to be this notion that if you lose a fight, you're not anything anymore. And we have to stop as fans, stop looking at it like that. It's still a hot commodity. Like I'm gonna tell you a person I'm a fan of, Keith One Time Thurman. And I know he get a lot of grief and a lot of pushback from a lot of people because of his moves and actions. And Keith, you have some. You've been moving funny. You've been moving funny. That's all I can say. But I'm still a fan. He's not a slouch to me. He's not an easy win to me either. Um, but if Errol Spence decide that he doesn't want to fight you, that's that man's decision. I'm not reading nothing beyond that. Earl has his reasons, just like you had your reasons when you didn't fight Earl. And they made sense to you, and that's all they have to make sense to is you and Earl. That's all it has to make sense to is Earl. Us as fans, we would love to see it once and for all, but I don't trip on that. Keith, what you probably need to do is put your head down and get in grind mode and just get back up there. Start from the bottom and work your way up like you did the first time. You can do it. You could do it. I don't know if you should go to 154 or should you stay at 147. Again, those are your choices, but uh, we want the old Keith Thurman back. Right now you only have one loss. That's it, and that's to Pacquiao. And if you're gonna lose to somebody, what a better person to lose to, like an elite top tier fighter. So I mean, but get yourself together and get back in there. There's other people to fight. You don't have to. You might not get the Crawford fight. I don't want to see another Sean Porter and Keith Thurman. I don't want to see a Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. You guys, there's Deron Ennis, there's Ugas, Lipinets. There's other people to fight. So find a fighter. Shit, Mikey Garcia act like he want it. Sometimes he act like he want to go to 147 when he did that one time, and he might have learned his lesson. But if he wanted, go that route. There's other people to fight. Y'all stop, y'all mix it up. Try to fight everybody. Clean the shit up before you try to move to another division or something. But this rematch, I took that information as somebody asking. I'm talking about the rematch between Floyd and Pac. I took it as somebody was asking Pacquiao a question and he answered it because he's an active fighter. He was like, "Of course, I would love a rematch with Floyd." What was he supposed to say? I expected him to say that, but Floyd or him never try to campaign or talk about, "Hey, we want to get together and fight again." That is just the media probing and asking those questions, or fans suggesting that that should happen because we want to. Let's face it, people just want Floyd to lose. Floyd know better. I wouldn't entertain the fight. He wasn't gracious in defeat when you beat him the first time, and that's enough right there to not honor a rematch. I took this news as woo woo. I'm just speaking on it. It's not that big a deal. Pacquiao got a record of 62 wins, 7 losses, and 2 draws, 39 KO. So he's over he's over 50 percent. He has a better percentage rate as far as knockouts than Floyd. Before Floyd, out of the 50 fights that he fought, he's over 50% too. He's 27 knockouts, but Floyd kept his up. So if you want to know who's better, you have to give it to Floyd. And the man who wrote that article that I read or source or got my information from is named Dan Ambrose. And he wrote an article for, make sure, Boxing News 24. So I um I didn't put too much stock in it, so but I did want to talk about it. I do want to talk about TMT. I do not think that that's a good move. Why? Because I do not think that that's a good move. Why? Because Tank one day he will make it up to those type weights, but Tank is short and he's still young. No people say, "Oh, shortness don't matter." It does. It does because I don't know if his body is ready to be at 147. But even besides that, I mean, I think Tank can fight people that big and hurt them. I think he can fight people that's 154 and hurt them. But eventually his size is going to matter. That's why I don't want him to go up there. Plus, complete everything he need to complete in the 130 pound, has he? Or the 135 pound, or the that's 140. Fighting one person out of each weight division does not make you all that, and it leaves a lot of questions. It actually makes fans confused. Like, what are you doing? You doing a money tour? Like, literally, are you doing a money tour or a money grab, or are you trying to be the best? And when you leave questions like you fought Mario Barrios, but is he the best at 140? And you fought him and you won. It took you a minute to time him and get him out there, but you eventually won. And since he's not the best at 140, what that mean that you beat? What does it mean that you beat him at 140? What really does it mean? He's not the best at 140, but you beat him. The best at 135 right now, whether y'all like him or not, is Teofimo Lopez. Did you beat him? Or there's a lot of good fighters in 135. You got Devin Haney. Did you beat him? 130, you got Shakur Stevenson. Did you beat him? Jamel Herring. Did you beat him? Um, Before you go to 147, Tank, and this is to you, if you ever stumble upon my video and listen, and you're your own boss, you can do what you want. But as a fan, I don't see how that's necessary or beneficial to you at all. Um, and even if you beat a Keith Thurman, can you beat Jerron Ennis? I don't think you can. Can you beat Earl Spence? I don't think you can. Can you beat Terrence Crawford? I don't think you can. I give you a chance, but I don't think you can. It's not a hit against you. You're an excellent, elite, top tier fighter in my eyes. And you will go through, everything in due time. Everything in due time. Tank. That's all I'm saying. You could beat some people in 147. You could beat some people in 154, but they have their top tier fighters, just like in the divisions that you belong to. There's top 10, top tier echelon fighters. So I don't think you should allow that to happen. I think it will actually hurt your reputation because once people start seeing you as just a money, a money grabber, like that's all you in for. Um, what would be the point of us as fans to watch it? What is so great about that? You're a nice looking young man. You got your shit together. You're doing well. You're helping your family. You have a beautiful daughter. Everything's going great. But do you want a legacy of being that man, being that dude, or you know, um, do you want to be just known as a person who all they cared about is money? Money is cool, but money is not gonna put you in the Hall of Fame. It's not. If when you go in the Hall of Fame, they're gonna be talking about your attributes, like the things you've done, how you overcame adversity, how you could fight going backwards, forwards, setting traps. You was just this awesome boxer that nobody really had an answer for. I can't tell that from you jumping from division to division to division. Don't let them do you like that, Javante. Don't let them do you like that. You are way better than that. Way better than that. I expect you to go to 135 and clean it out. I don't know anybody in that division that could beat you. Period. And I'm a Teofimo fan too. I like him, but I don't think he can beat you. I like Devin Haney, but I don't think Devin can beat you. I like Shakur too, and I don't think he can beat you. So you got a lot of work um, between 130 and 140. Even if you want to, still hover at 140, that was nice, but you got a lot of work to do at 130 and 135, and I just want you to stay focused. Finish what you start. Meaning, if you started in a division, you became champion. Become unified champ. These things matter. Become undisputed. Be the first person to do that. That be undisputed in 130, and then undisputed at 135, and then undisputed at 140. You'll be the greatest boxer ever known. And Tank capability of doing that. I wouldn't. It does not serve you to go to 147. I'm sorry, it just don't. Um, why Keith Thurman shouldn't take that fight? Because what's gonna happen, Keith, is they're gonna make a mockery out of you, and I don't agree with that. I think you're an excellent fighter. I think you're a top tier fighter. I don't think you should be made a mockery out of. You lost one fight. Um, People like everybody's on Keith because of how he been moving, and I'm gonna tell you, Keith. Sometimes I can't blame people for the conclusions that they come up with, but life happens, people. Life happens. Maybe he got married and fell in love, and this is something he never been through before, and it takes some time to adjust. I don't know what the reasons are. Maybe it's just as simple as the man been boxing or fighting in some form of fashion since he was a kid. And after the Danny Garcia fight, which he said Danny was one of the hardest punches he ever faced, he just felt like, okay, before I go any further in my career and face people like a Errol Spence or anybody else that was dangerous, let me go ahead and address my injuries because I haven't addressed them in 10 years or I haven't addressed them in the last 5 years. And so he chose to get his elbow fixed, and then I think he had a problem with his hands. So I think it's something as simple as that. But Keith, people don't understand. Like, I seen the interview. I don't know who you did it with, but you broke down why everything had happened the way it did with you and Earl, like how that whole thing was going on. And I left the interview looking at my TV like I understand that. That totally makes sense. So I'll invite Keith Thurman out here to my channel if you want to come out here and break that down too. I will get some of my friends in social media to help me develop some followers or whatever. But you know, one day I would love to do an interview with you, Keith, where you explain yourself to the fans, you know, because we want to know. And to all the boxers out there, at this point in boxing, you could just go ahead and put the truth on Front Street because a lot of fans know how boxing uh, business work anyway. Like before, it used to be something where we say um, we don't really know the behind the scenes. We don't really know how it works, but a lot of us can keep up and understand. And sometimes it do come down to being a boxing decision. It's not always necessarily a ducking thing. So I don't think that Keith has ducked anybody. I really believe he was going and chugging along a long time, and he felt like he had to address his injuries, and life happened. You know, when you become injured, I don't care who you are and what you say, you are never the same, especially if it's a serious injury. You would definitely be different. Now you could get better. Sometimes your injury don't present any, you know, cause for alarm right there in the beginning. However, Father Time will be the judge of that because over time, you know, your injury can prove to be something severe because you just, you know, sometimes shit don't reveal itself right away. So I think about that when I think about Earl Spence too. But he's doing everything that he's supposed to do and what he should do to get better. And I gotta commend him for that. He doesn't let that defeat him. And I commend him from getting right back on the horse and making changes for the better. So shout out to you, Earl Spence, for being an example of what to do and for your grit because you are very pleasing to the boxing fans out here because you get down regardless. So, but in full disclosure, um, I am a T Bud fan. I am truly a T Bud fan. There's a couple of boxers out there that I am a big fan of, and that's Deontay Wilder and T Bud. Those are my favorite fighters. And the rest of the fighters I'm fans of. I'm a true boxing fan. I I don't really have nothing negative to say about too many fighters or anything like that. But if I do, you know, I will tell you why I have a negative view of a fighter or whatever. I always try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt because whether we want to admit it or not, life happens. Life happens, and things that can go on in life that can throw you off course. Course, uh, like we was just talking about Keith Thurman, maybe being married threw him off course. It can happen to the best of us. He fell in love. He met the woman of his dreams. He fell in love and he got married. And I think he's expecting a child. This is all new territory for him. Maybe it just took some time for him to adjust. I personally think it was his injury. I think I really believe that he went for years with certain injuries and never fully addressed them in the proper way, like let himself fully heal. And then, you know, after the Danny Garcia fight, which was a tough fight by his own words, he just decided, well, shit, I'm gonna make sure I heal properly and get the surgery that I need. Excuse me, get the surgery that I need um, so I can be better because it's tougher competition going forward. But we all we all didn't like it because Earl Spence was pressed. He was ready to go, and Keith wasn't. So if you was a true Earl Spence fan, you didn't like it, and you looked at him like a coward, and you was like you felt a certain kind of way about it, just like Earl do. But I think it's a misunderstanding of or whatever. I don't know, but I'm gonna give Keith Thurman the benefit of the doubt. Because like I said, he only has one loss, and that's to Pacquiao. If you're gonna lose to somebody, what better person to lose to? A top tier fighter. I mean, if he had lost to Josecito Lopez, and Josecito is not a bad fighter at all, but he's not a Pacquiao. He's not a Floyd. He's not an Arrow. So I mean, Keith Thurman lost him, and you got to go back and look at what Pacquiao said about Keith Thurman, how he described him, and how he said that he was one of his toughest fighters, and that dude hit hard, and Pacquiao said he ain't want no more. So I cannot treat Keith like a slouch. However, Keith, everything people do has consequences. My stomach over here growling. Sorry, I had to drink. Getting a little I suffer from a lot like severe allergies, so you'll see me drinking juice that I make for myself, but it's made of fruits and vegetables. It's the only way I can eat it raw is to drink it. So, but anyway, yeah, Tank, please go back to 130, 135, or even 140, but become unified and undisputed. Clean it out. That's where between 130 and 140, I'm thinking that's your zone right there. That's your lane. And do everything that you can in those areas because 147, I'm not saying you can't be successful. I don't feel that that's for you. As a fan, that's just my opinion. Of course, you're your own man. You can do what you want to do, but that's just my opinion as a fan. I don't think a lot of your fans want to see that too. Whether you was gonna win or not, I don't think your fans want to see it. I'm one of your fans. I don't want to see it. Keith, I don't want to see it for you either because again, they're trying to make you like a gatekeeper or they're making a mockery of you. Now you was calling out Floyd right at the tail end of his career, and then Floyd didn't take you on, but Floyd had his agenda, and Floyd had a right to pick who he wanted to fight at the end of his career. So I'm not mad at what Floyd chose. He fought some notable fighters, and he picked some notable fighters. Berto was notable. Um, that's another person you can fight right there, Berto. You know what I'm saying? So you fought Pacquiao, and that's the only loss that you had, and it wasn't even. It's not like Pacquiao washed. It's not like he beat you by so many points or anything. Uh, it could have went either way. I mean, he definitely he put some respect on your name, so that's the you you winning in a sense because you did fight him, and your resume speaks for itself. You just had this low moment in your career where you was not doing anything. So people want an explanation of that. And like I said, if you want to come on my show and break it down so it can make sense to people, you're more than welcome. I give you the benefit of the doubt that either life happened or you was addressing your injuries. However long it take to address some injuries, that's what it took. People got to be in their right frame of mind when they get in the ring, especially with people like a Tank Davis or Earl Spence or something like that. You can't be going in there half step. So Keith and Tank, that's not a good look for either one of y'all. I wanted to talk about this ranking system. Now, in the first video that I put up, I pre-recorded it and I put it up. It's on my channel or it's attached to my channel. But I talk about pound for pound and how I come up with my list and the criterion I use for pound. I'm not gonna redo that. Maybe I'll do a redo of that video because it said your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect it. I really couldn't tell you what's going on. So, oh my goodness. Again, here we go again. Errol Spence just made the list because he has 27 um, fights. When I said just made the list, meaning my list. Um, but how is this man above him? 27 is more than 18. Come on, people. I see Terrence and him have the same kind of record, but Terrence has more fights. So Terrence will go above Earl. Plus, Terrence has moved through different weight classes. But and I heard that Saul Canelo Alvarez lost a fight in Mexico before. I wouldn't know because we didn't even know him until really till he fought Floyd. I mean, he was making some noise coming up before Floyd, but nobody really knew him. And so it says one loss, but that's the Floyd fight. But really, it should say two because um, Iris Landy Laura actually, and I'm not even an Iris Landy fan. So then we get down to Josh Taylor. Again, Josh Taylor, even though he's undisputed, would not make my pound for pound list because he's undisputed. And see, that might be something that I have to revisit because he is undisputed. What happens when a person is undisputed? Do I mean that's the ultimate achievement, the a creme de la creme. So if Josh Taylor is the creme de la creme, why wouldn't he be on my list? And I made a rule that if you're 24 fights and below, you can't go on my list. But I might have to give Tyson Fury can never go on my list, and he's a heavyweight. He's a heavyweight, and the other part is he's a cheater. So, in two of my criterion, he could never make my list. Triple G, no, and Teofimo Lopez should be a lot more higher. I know there's some dispute about him being undisputed, but if the people call him undisputed, the powers that be call him undisputed, that's what I'm gonna go with. Heavyweight. Mm. How does Anthony Joshua be above Deontay Wilder? Because he's not undisputed, he's just unified. Um, how does Anthony Joshua be above Deontay Wilder? Because he's not undisputed, he's just unified. Um, but he don't have more fights than Joshua, but whatever. Uh, Again, Luis Ortiz to me should be above half of these people. Right here with him and Dillian White. Dillian White got 28 fights. Luis Ortiz got 32. They both have two losses. Come on, man. Who should be above who? You know, cruiserweight. Now, I admit I don't know many of these fighters. I've seen them, but I have not really paid much attention to the cruiserweights because I feel like they're just a hop, skip, and a jump from heavyweight. So go on and jump. Light heavyweight. This guy right here. Love him as a fighter. He's a great guy too. Um, hmm, same record. That's I don't know what these asterisks mean. Unless they mean belts that they got. If that means belts, then I guess he has at the top. Don't know too many of them either. This where it gets interesting. This is a bitch. He should come off. He's a cheater. He got caught. Once a cheater, always a cheater. You got caught. You need to be up out of there. How is he? I ain't gonna call him a cheater because he did recreational drugs, but still, that's a no-no. So I don't know how he's here. Don't know. But I like David Benavidez, but David. And then this guy cheat right here, Billy Joe Saunders. So again, them two would not be on my list. Nothing, nothing against them. This I really get into boxing around this area. Uh, no, they didn't. Get the fuck out of here. Gennady left is number one, but they opened to Saul Alvarez because he advocated with Triple G. Please, please, 160 Jamal Charlo need to be number one, or between Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andre. No, see, I can't even do bullshit, and y'all know I have a problem with the Charlos when they be cooning and shit outside the ring. But in the ring, I give them full credit and full props. No, Triple G, you are not better than Charlo or him, Demetrius Andre. So I can't even look at this list no more. Junior middleweight 153. Better have motherfucking Jamel, and I'm mad at him more than the other one. But they got it right. Number one, um, Brian Castano, he got a belt, so I guess. Um, Erickson Lubin, okay. Julian Williams, okay. Um, mm, I can't really argue with their record. Tony Harrison, I was gonna say I like him better than Iris Landy, but I can't really complain. He has a draw. Iris Landy S3. I mean, so maybe they do need to switch places. Maybe Tony should be number five and Iris Landy should be number six. Mm, they did a little bit justice to this one. They did justice to the junior middleweight 154 pounders. Welterweight, love to be. It said open since 2016 when Manny Pacquiao retired. Really? Uh, okay. Yeah. In the division itself, Errol Spence, I give him top billing over Terrence Crawford. I told you I can be objective. Terrence is my guy. Between Errol and Terrence is my guy, but I can be objective. Yes, I would agree with the 1-2. Let me see, Sean Porter. Hmm. 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 So maybe Jerron Ennis goes up above Sean Porter to me. Maybe. You had one fight and you got your ass whipped at 147. So please, to the rear march. I don't even know. I don't know how to pronounce this person's name, so I won't try to mess it up. But Kudro. Kudro. Anywho, I'm not disappointed in how they kind of ranked them, in the 147. Might move a name or two around. Like I will have to bring Jerron in his name up. Mikey Garcia, y'all can find somebody else. He needs to go. Not a 147. He fought one time. He was unsuccessful. And that doesn't make you a 147. Like live in the division for a minute before y'all add him to a list. So what y'all gonna do? Have him on the welterweight, junior welterweight, and lightweight list? That don't make sense. Pick a list and move in. Okay, Josh Taylor. Yeah, the asterisk must mean the belts that they got. And it's showing three asterisks, but from my understanding, Josh Taylor is undisputed. So he should be at the top of the list. Regis Prograis, number two. Ramirez, Zapata, Postal. I didn't even know Postal was still fighting. Haven't seen him since Terrence Crawford dealt with him. This here y'all go again. Tank fought one time. Don't get me wrong, his one time was the shit. But do we know if he really lived in the junior welterweight area? Maybe I missed it, but I know who Robert Easter Jr. is. I haven't seen him fight in the 140 pound. So, but I know who he is. But it's logical. I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe he moved up. Sorry for the noise, y'all. Then you got lightweight. Mm-mm. Vasily Lomachenko. No. Right. I know y'all didn't look. Ooh, I gotta put this down. I gotta put this down. So, ooh, ooh. So Ryan Garcia. Hold on. So Ryan Garcia makes the list. Uh Hold on. Whew, y'all. Y'all trying to I don't know what this is doing. So Ryan Garcia makes okay, let me turn this down a little bit. I'm sorry for the pause, y'all, but I'm tripping. It's a lightweight 135 division. They got Teofimo, of course, like the undisputed. Vasily Lomachenko as number one, which I don't agree. Ryan Garcia number two. How? How do Devin Haney make have had more fights than Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia is ranked over Devin Haney, and he's scared to fight Devin Haney. He won't fight him. Um, and Ryan Garcia shouldn't even be on the list because he ain't got 25 fights. Well, at least my list. So I don't agree with him being on the list, period. But he damn sure ain't better than Devin Haney or Richard Comey or Isaac Cruz. Damn sure ain't better than Javante Davis. Now, how? The only people who got a belt in this mug is Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney. I think Javante got some kind of belt in that division, like a number one contender or something. Come on. Then they closing it out with George Cambosos Jr. and Joseph Diaz. Like, what are y'all thinking about? And the only reason I'm going back this far, like, Javante, okay. I don't know. Since Pacquiao abdicated in July 2008, shit been open. Damn, they haven't had many champions. Really? Really? I don't know about this list, but okay, I don't really look at it. I'm going back this far because Gary Russell Jr. is one of my favorite fighters. And they got that right. That's all I need to see. That he's number one. So, okay, I'm back. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. It's just crazy. Ryan Garcia, I'm gonna have to profile you because you selling a front row seat to some bullshit, and people are buying it unsuspectingly. And you might be popular on social media, and that's cool for you, but that does not translate into popular in boxing. You duck, you did an obvious duck. You have no belt, and you have not been tested. Oscar De La Hoya is, I think, still your promoter, and Oscar is not like that. Oscar believes that you should get in there with everybody. That's why you guys are having problems with him, because he wondering why y'all acting like bitches. You and Canelo. You know, again, y'all can do what y'all want with y'all career, but as a fan, it's upsetting. So need to tighten up. But that's all I had today. I'm sure that people is gonna come back and probably watch this video like after the fact. So I appreciate it and everything. I still got to figure out how to do some other stuff like yeah. I didn't have anybody come in today. Well, I was just this is so. I'll see y'all guys tomorrow, and I got to figure out how to set up the other things. So thank I'm gonna say thank you anyway for anybody who come by and bless your presence to my channel. So I read off the ranking system on the Boxing News website. I talked a little bit about Keith Thurman and Tank Davis. Why they should not fight each other. Tank, please clean up the 130, 135, maybe even 140. You know, don't be that person that bounce all around. Because Mikey Garcia to me looks stupid bouncing around. It's not the shit. I think it was a fighter back in the day who did that, but the difference between them and you guys right now, there was nobody for that fighter. I gotta find his name, but there was nobody for that fighter to face. I mean, he pretty much cleaned out his division, and so he was bouncing around because he was like, "Where is the goddamn competition?" I wonder. That's why he was bouncing around. You guys are doing a money grab, and it's cool. Like, let us know as fans if that's all you into. You into just making money. If that's the case, then we know how to, I guess, spend our money. Because as fans, we just want to see the fights. We don't want any excuses. We just want to see the best fighting the best. That's all we want to see. You know, the champions fighting the champions, top tier fighting each other. That's all we want to see. And when you fight each other, clean up, the ones, the little underlings. I hate to say it like that, but clean up rank people like around number 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, 10. Clean out the top 10 in your division. Get all the belts, unify the belts. That's what we want to see. That's what we can actually spend our money and feel good about spending. That's what we can actually spend our money and feel good about spending our money on somebody that bounces around, just going for a money grab. I can't get into you as a boxer. Like, think about it like it's an entertainment business. But yeah, but you getting in the ring and just fighting anybody, you know, in a different division tank is not gonna do it for us as fans. Plus, if you're gonna go to the welterweight, then fight Earl Spence. If that's what you're trying to do, if you offering challenging and all that stuff, then do that. But don't just go into the welterweight division and then just fight somebody who's not even a champion. What are you going up there for when you have not became undisputed in none of the other weight classes that you were in? And it is for you to have. You definitely can become undisputed. It's yours for the taking. Because I'm telling you, 130 and 135, that is all you take. Now, who can say they did that? Undisputed at 130 and 135. And I know you can do it at 140. So who can say that they Who did that? That would be a record to behold. So yeah, take your time, young man. You are 25 years old or 26, and I mean you got all the time in the world. Take your time and do it right for you, for you. Keith, don't let people make a mockery out of you, and don't become a gatekeeper, please. You have a lot to offer. You are still a good fighter. You only have one loss, and don't forget that. Just don't forget that. Again, if you want to come to my channel and explain why such a long layoff, I do welcome you to this channel to drop some knowledge and just like nowadays, you guys as fighters, just put everything out on Front Street because we're hip to the game. That's the beautiful thing about the internet is that we can learn stuff quick. You never know. Something that somebody say on a social media platform, you can learn something. And don't be afraid to go on these social media platforms because they can only help you. If people have constructive criticism, don't be afraid of constructive criticism. Everybody who grew up around the time I grew up, we had no choice but to go through constructive criticism because that was the way of the world. And it made us a better person. It made us a stronger woman or a stronger man. It aids in you, making better choices and stuff in your life. It's you don't want to be around people who can't give you constructive criticism or just a yes person or a scary person because they don't want to piss nobody off. No, we have a saying in the Navy: "It's my time to drive the boat." It's my turn to drive the boat. And when y'all talking about y'all careers, it's your turn to drive the boat. That's how you have to look at it. You are the boss. You are the destiny. You are in control of where that career goes. Not nobody else. I don't care who they are to you. I don't care if they're your promoter, your manager, whoever, your publicist. You are control of your own destiny, and let it always stay like that. But I always want to leave it with when you know better, you do better. When you know more, you do better. So that's my time today. I went over an hour, and my video is gonna be short until till I learn some more tricks of the trade. I don't know if this video was even seen, so I apologize. It's definitely saying I'm live, but it's telling me my connection was unstable. So looks very clear on my end. But thank you, and I'll see you guys another time. All right, have a good day.